Welcome to the Utah Street Banter.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter podcast. I'm Cody. With me, like always, is Elijah. What's up, buddy?
Not too much. You know, just another day.
Another day in paradise. Yeah. I'm still dealing with this over here. I got some sickness or something going on. So if you see me getting a coughing fit and roll out, just let me go.
I'll just take over.
Just let me go.
You know, it only matters if you have the important one, right?
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. The only problem is I think I'm the only one who knows how to do the whole digital stuff. Right.
Well, I mean, as long as I can revive you.
Oh yeah.
In like an hour.
And wow, you're just gonna let me go. That's funny. Now, but we've had a little bit of a week. We had the Home Run Derby happen since last time we spoke. We had the All-Star game. And then obviously the Texas Rangers series. What did you feel like? How do you feel like the Home Run Derby went in your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, most of the time the Derby's kind of hit or miss. And I feel like it was kind of just another one of these years. Nothing special really happened. I think there was no memorable moments really at all. Gunnar Henderson sucked.
Yeah, Gunnar sucked.
I mean, I will say, I guess, if you're gonna look to make myself feel better as an Orioles fan, he was hitting line drives.
Yeah,
finding the gaps, you know.
Yeah.
But that's about all you can say. I mean, who would have guessed Teoscar Hernandez would have?
Not me. I thought Odell Garcia was gonna win.
Yeah, and he didn't really do that well either. I mean, well, even the people in the Derby, none of them really jump off the page at you as home run hitters.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Just Alonso. Alonso even struggled.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he did just as bad as Henderson.
But if there's not a chance I would have thought it was going to be Bobby Witt and Teoscar Hernandez in the championship. But anyway, I mean, the only good part about it was obviously Bobby Witt hit that one. And, not good part, but exciting part was Bobby Witt hit the one and it was almost.
Like 3 feet away from the line.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you have any thoughts on the All-Star game? I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched, I think, like 8 innings of it, something like that. Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I feel like this was probably the best All-Star game in a few years.
Yeah.
Definitely better than last year's.
Yeah.
I think it was more people on the base paths, a couple more innings. Obviously, Corbin started.
Yeah.
He had some traffic, but fought out of it. I feel like the national media probably doesn't understand that that's every start for Corbin.
Yeah, right.
I fully knew. I was like, yeah, 2 base runners, that checks out for the first inning of Corbin Burns' start. Yeah.
Well, I think the cool thing about Corbin is, I mean, the lineup he went through, like even Ohtani, he sort of pitched real soft. Yeah, there's a call that probably could have been there, but it's the All-Star game. You know, it's Ohtani. The umpire will get, screamed at if they punch him out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I thought it was really cool that the Orioles, we kind of got our moment in the national stage with Corbin and Adley and Gunnar.
I mean, and the best one, I think, out of all of them was Santander.
Absolutely.
Went 1 for 2. I mean, he ripped the classic Santander single. I mean, I feel like I see that single twice a week, 3 times a week, something like that. And, I mean, got on base, obviously, then Jaron Duran crushed the ball in the stands. Without Santander, he doesn't win MVP. So
right. Yeah, so
really, Tony's MVP.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, Red Sox fans.
Right. So the more important thing about the All-Star game on Home Run Derby is it was really nice for our O's to get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, a well-needed one.
Well-needed, and then it almost worked out perfect because we stayed right in Texas, so it was like an extra break. So we really came out on fire on Friday. July 19th, Corbin Burns got the start for this game, pitched very well against Nathan Eovaldi. We win 9-1. It was nice to see baseball on TV again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So really excited about that. But the biggest thing is we got our win, kind of get on that little streak again. The next day we obviously win again, 8-4. Grayson pitched. He pitched okay. But the Orioles, their bigger story is the Orioles just mashed.
Yeah, I mean,
Max Scherzer.
I will say though, for that one, I'm really impressed with Grayson's performance because I know I watched the whole game and the first 2 or 3 innings he struggled. By the end of the second inning, he was already over 50 pitches, and I know I was sitting there with my dad, and we were like, he's not gonna make it to the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And then he just came out there and grinded through 6. It was really impressive for him to get as deep in the game as he did, with the way he was really laboring every pitch, lack of control.
Yeah.
His changeup just wasn't there. But, I mean, he threw a lot of fastballs. That's all I have to say about that, though. He impressed me there.
Yeah, I mean, and though, in my opinion, another great thing that happened was Taj Bradley for the Rays pitched a heck of a game and beat the Yankees for us.
Yeah,
Kinda
exactly.
gave us a cushion way, right? But another couple things I want to talk about real quick. Well, let me get to the last game. Sunday, July 21st, we played the Rangers again. Obviously, we lose this game 3-2. Dean Kramer pitches. Andrew Heaney pitched like he was a Cy Young candidate, or the Orioles just decided to take a Sunday off, Sunday stroll. Luckily, the Yankees did the same thing. But couple things I want to talk about real quick about this series is I was really happy. Santander, it crushing, and his swing looks gorgeous.
I mean, 27 home runs now on the season. He's, I think, looking up at like 3 or 4 players, the likes of Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, who would say going into the break that another 4 days later, Henderson would not have close, like, would be almost losing the home run lead on the team when you thought he's killing it. I mean, Santander, he needs to be re-signed. I think that's this series. I know at the beginning of the season it was kind of he's on a contract here. Is he gonna get traded?
Yeah,
and I think he's gonna be somewhat expensive, but I rather have him than Austin Hayes or Cedric Mullins. So if we have to let our 3 kind of veteran outfielders, of the 3 of them walk, it's those 2. I need Tony on this team.
Yeah.
I think the vibes in the clubhouse are crazy with him, and he just brings an energy to the team that we really need.
Yeah.
So many Orioles memories are around him, and for how much I hated him in a while up until like 2020, he's one of my favorite Orioles.
Yeah,
we need him on the team.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, obviously, trade deadline's going to come. We got a lot to talk about that today. Just a quick look ahead. We play the Miami Marlins for the next, 3 days? Yep. And then we finish the weekend out against the Padres at home. In my opinion, this Marlins series, we have to do well. So Albert Suarez pitches tonight. I mean, we got the one good thing is we have a good part of our pitching staff. Like, we have the lower end of our pitching staff to go against a lower end team. So that way when the Padres come back in town, we're ready to.
Do you have up whose pitching game too?
It hasn't been said, but they're saying
it's going to be Corbin. I think.
Well, yeah, they're also talking about I can't remember his name. The other prospect we have in
McDermott.
McDermott's on the taxi squad now.
Okay, I mean, you could see that. I mean, we have. If you pitch Corbin, he still gets the normal amount of rest. So I think you could see just skip that 5th start and then maybe have him come up soon. We have a doubleheader coming up eventually. You may see him come in to play for then. But I mean, we'll see. But what I'm really interested in looking at is the trade deadline.
All right, let's talk about it.
So the trade deadline is July 30th, next week. Exactly a week away. And I am thrilled for what's to come, but it all depends on what the Orioles do. It could be a very happy day for me or a very sad day. The one good thing is, for over the past couple of years, it seemed to be on my birthday, the trade deadline, and it's always been a sad birthday. Talk about celebrating your birthday, and then, Trey Mancini gets traded. That's good. Which obviously worked out for us because we have great pitching because of it. Yeah. But I'm really excited because I think the Orioles are going to make some moves. Or at least I hope they're going to make some moves. Okay. And I'm kind of really dove deep into the moves that could be made before anything gets talked about, players from other teams. To make moves, we will trade prospects. That's how that works.
Yep.
You can't trade a major league pitcher for another major league pitcher and gain from that. Our prospects, your feelings are going to get hurt probably.
Yeah.
Samuel Basallo or Kobe May, one of them, they may be gone after this. Connor Norby's probably gone. Kyle Stowers is going to be gone probably. We have to come to terms with that. And for us to win a World Series, we have to trade players to get players. I think that's what it comes down to. And just consider ourselves lucky that we're not like the Dodgers. We don't need hitting. We're pretty set up on our offense. But what I'm going to do is I basically went through the entire rosters of any team I believe that could trade players and came up with a bunch of names. And I'm going to name them. And me and Cody are going to kind of go back and forth, talk about what this player's been playing like this season, and then what we could expect a trade package maybe to look like. I have them ranked too in different categories. We'll get to those. Each category I'll say why I named it that. I kind of try to get a little bit creative with some of them. But after we're talking about maybe a potential trade package or just how their season's going, me and Cody are going to rate them 0 to 5 on chances that we trade them. 5 definite, 0 no chance. So with that being said, I have the Rays, Blue Jays, White Sox, Angels, A's, Nationals, Marlins, Cubs, and Reds as sellers/movers. They're going to trade players no matter what, I believe. Some of these teams are sellers. Some of them are just retooling for next season.
Okay.
And then I have 3 teams, the Tigers, Rockies, Rangers. They're here. I have a lot of names down that the Orioles, I think we would love to have. But the Rockies, who knows what they're doing? They probably, somehow the Athletics are in Major League Baseball, and I think the Rockies are still the worst run organization in the MLB. And then the Tigers and Rangers, really just depends how this last 6 to 7 days go. If they get on a hot streak, they're not trading anybody. But if they just go and lose the next 5 games, I think they're going to sell. So there's caveats to everything here. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but that's just to preface before we get into anything.
Right.
I'm going to be throwing a lot of names at you. Cody's going to be trying to keep me in check on my stats and stuff, try not to get too into it. I'm going to try to keep this as fast moving and not get stuck up on names. But my first category here is players we would all love to have. The cream of the crop. We know what we're going to get with this team. They're going to come at a premium price, but a lot of these guys, I believe, if we trade for, we become the World Series favorites, which I don't. That's why there's only 5 names here. You can't say that about a lot of people. And I think a name that's been thrown around a lot this year, he's on the White Sox, Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
He's a great pitcher. He's been doing great, really, really good. He has a 3.02 ERA this season, already over 4 wins. He's thrown 107 innings, which I'll come back to that later. That's a very important number. So really low whip. 150 strikeouts already this season, which is insane. He is an amazing starting pitcher. One of the best starting pitchers in baseball. Easily the best starting pitcher that's going to be moved probably no matter what.
Right.
I'd have to say. The one thing that I'd say, like I said, he had innings. This is his first season in his life throwing more than 60, 70 innings. Going back all the way from college to high school, he's not thrown a lot of innings. He has been transitioning from reliever to starter. He's gone through a lot of injuries. So the problem that people are worried with him is if you trade for him, you're going to have to pay as he's a starter, and you may have to move him to the bullpen for until September, October, when you can try to build him back up to be a starter for the postseason. And this is a guy that if you bring him in and to start games, he's going to start over. He's our number 2 starter.
Yeah.
No one's going to be pitching over Burns, but he's over G-Rod. And I think the problem with him is it worth paying starter prices for possibly a reliever?
Yeah.
Oh, do you have any takes on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Crochet's interesting just because I'm nervous about workload. And do you know how many years he has left on his contract? Do you know?
Yes, I do have that up. He is a free agent in 2027.
Yeah, so
his first RB years next year.
So here's the issue, guys, is we're going to talk about a lot of people, but you really want to start looking at people in multiple years.
Yeah.
And the reason is
Burns is gone next year.
Yeah, Burns, Bradish, Means,
injuries,
Wells, we're losing a lot next year.
Yeah.
And maybe there's more moves to be made
in the off season.
Yeah, no, that's
maybe we sign somebody. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, that's another thing I wanted to kind of, and not to mess you up, is another thing is if there's not much trade happening, is you almost have to look at Burns is becoming a must sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to if you want to try to save some money and get some 1-year deals, right? And then you just make sure you throw your checkbook at Burns, and that's what has to happen.
And absolutely, I think that can happen. Obviously, I'm not Mike Elias, and I'm not the Orioles, any of them. I don't know what they're thinking, because they could be thinking that exact thing, that they're ready to go. Because I already know Corbin Burns is not signing anything until he's a free agent. He wants to test it to see what he can get. Because who knows, maybe we throw $300 million at him, but if the Yankees throw $400, he's going to go to them. And I don't blame him for that. I'd take $400 million too. And I think it's going to be hard for us to get him, because I am afraid that if we go sign him, you can't keep Henderson and Rutschman.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Elias and our ownership, they've been thinking about this ever since we got traded. We traded for him. And it's just something that we can't predict.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the stuff I have through this list, it's a lot of rentals and it's a lot of people with years.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, certain people are really cheap, really, really cheap.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah,
aren't as cheap.
but Garrett Crochet, that's what I'm saying. So say they don't see a future with Burns. I mean, Garrett Crochet really helps out for next year
Exactly.
and years after. The only question is, can he continue doing it? He has been good. It's like people don't realize, like they think he just came out of the blue. But I believe he was injured last year. He came at the end of the season. Did well. The year before that, he did very well.
I mean, he was the 11th overall pick in 2020.
Yeah,
like
right,
he's
right. So
he's been a high prospect.
so he's not. It's not like a guy that's just hasn't he just got lucky.
I mean, as a reliever in 2021, he had a 2.82 ERA in 54 innings.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I would love it.
No, and
Then he has the highest leg kick I've seen since. What's his name? The Marlins guy.
Oh,
Dontrell Willis.
Yeah, Willis.
But yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love the trade. I don't personally think he's gonna get traded to us because of many different reasons. I think the innings limit's gonna hurt him. I think workload is the biggest killer. I don't think we can afford to get rid of Kobe Mayo and Samuel Basayo because that's who it's gonna take for someone like this. That's, I think, a start is one of them. Hopefully not both. But I think you have to be okay if your move is Garrett Crochet. That's probably your only move. Maybe a minor reliever. So what would you say on a 0 to 5 scale? What's our chances of signing him or trading for him?
Yeah. I mean, I'm at a 2.
I think I'm at a 2 too. Yeah, 2 or 1, because it's just like we all said. There's plenty of reasons you could list why he's good. He's the riskiest.
Yeah.
He's the riskiest pick you could pick out here.
You're giving a lot, hoping for something.
Yes. Now I have another starter who's at the insane level of Garrett Crochet without the risk, I believe, and that's Terry Skubal.
Yeah.
He's a Cy Young winner, probably. Unless Corbin Burns wins it, it's him and Burns for the Cy Young in the American League this year, and he's going to be good for a long time. He's not a free agent until where is this? He's not a free agent until 2027, and he's making $2.6 million this year. Not a lot. The asking price is going to be the biggest of any. This could be a Holiday.
Yeah. And
I know a lot of people don't want to trade Holiday. I don't know. I'm not the GM. I don't know if he's untouchable or not. He probably is, if I had to assume. But he'd be the one that Mayo and Basayo go in the same trade.
Yeah.
Or Holiday or something. But he's a lefty that throws 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Aroldis Chapman with accuracy. That's a start.
Yeah.
And he's nasty.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't it be great? But I just,
it's a lot to get.
It's a lot. It's a lot to get.
I think he, like I've been seeing on social media, people are saying if we're trading Holiday, it's got to be for like an Ohtani or a Judge level talent because he could live up to that. I'm not gonna say he's bad, but he struggled in his major league appearance. And how often are you right on name one prospect the Orioles have been wrong on since Elias has become the GM?
Since he's been the GM?
Yeah. Since he started drafting developing players.
I don't know.
Because my mind instantly goes to like Chance Sisco.
Okay.
But that's not Mike Elias.
Yeah. But yeah.
And obviously, he's probably not going to be bad. He's going to be really good. But Tariq Skubal is going to be a Cy Young caliber. And he's someone that's going to be cheaper than Burns and is a Burns caliber. That's why.
Trade Burns, is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Kidding.
But I'll talk about a perfect trade pack. Well, not perfect trade package, but a trade package for him. I think if you give up Holiday, you get more than Skubal in return. Yeah. I don't think we give up too much more than Holiday because Holiday's that. I mean, Holiday would be trading away. He's the best minor leaguer, best prospect. That'd be if the Pirates traded Paul Skeens.
Yeah, one of my favorite things I saw was on like Instagram or something. Whereas I guess a Tigers fan put on there our hopeful what we're hoping to get back for Tarek Skubal, and it was funny because it was like. I don't know, Heston Kershaw. Like they had a feel, like a depth chart.
Yeah. And
it was like Heston Kershaw, Stowers, and all this. And I'm looking, I'm like, that's the Norfolk Tide lineup. Yeah. Like everybody. That's funny. I'm like,
no, they like. I don't think Tigers fans are realistic in what they're expecting. But also, if I'm a Tigers fan, and you have Tariq Skubal, I'm probably saying that same exact thing. And like that's why it's understandable because as Orioles fans, we're saying if Holiday's given up, we want a lot too.
Yeah.
Which is totally understandable. I mean. I think it's one of those hard ones that you just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, MLB Network had a proposal for Jason Foley and Tariq Skubal. Jason Foley's a reliever on the Tigers. Jason Foley, Tariq Skubal for Holiday and Kerstad. I don't think there's a chance that the Orioles even think about doing that too. I don't think if you give up Holiday, there's no big prospect in it.
Yeah.
I think Holiday, like I have later on, like Keegan Aiken maybe could be someone you go with.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll move on for him because well, I guess we have to do our rating.
Yeah.
What's your possibility?
You know what? I'll say a 1.
That's what I'm at too. I'm at a 1.
God.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, great minds think alike.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it happens. I personally would I would give up Holiday for a Skubal level talent. I don't think a lot of people would, but I don't think Elias would either. I think Holiday's untouchable.
Yeah.
Moving on though, another great elite reliever, Mason Miller.
Okay.
He is insanely controllable. Not a free agent until 2030.
Okay.
2030. A little fun fact: his alma mater is the same as Cody's wife.
Yeah, Waynesburg University.
Yeah, pitching talent springs from there.
All 17 people.
But Mason Miller, he's elite. He's controllable. He's a great closer. He's probably one of the top 2 relievers in baseball this year. I'd have to say him and Emmanuel Clase. I think he's going to want a lot. He's going to get a lot. That's a May or Basayo type tree. Yeah. But you have to think he's controllable till 2030, and he's looking to be stretched back out to a starter. He could be a starter in 2 years.
Yeah.
And if you could have that talent as a starter and he's still good, that's another piece that can make it worth it. What's your ranking on this?
Mine is like a 0.
0. You don't think it's gonna happen?
No.
This is a 2 for me. I think Mason Miller is more likely for us to get than Garrett Crochet or Tariq Skubal. But that doesn't mean I don't think we're gonna get him.
I just don't understand why they wouldn't trade him. I just don't know. I don't know. I think if we traded, I don't think we get him. Yeah. Because how much more? Look at your closers in baseball. Who has been like he's at his peak right now?
Yeah.
He'll never be more valuable than this. And the A's are extremely quick on selling. And so, I mean, if you're going, next year we'll trade him. This is as good as it's going to get.
All it takes, he gets Tommy John in the offseason or something like that. No.
It's never going to get higher than this. So I just don't think the Orioles do it, but I think he gets traded.
Yeah. Oh, no. I almost everybody on this list is probably going to get traded, except for maybe Tariq Skubal. Who knows? Another reliever I have that I would prefer is Kirby Yates.
Yeah.
He's going to be cheaper because he's a rental.
I wonder if we have a deal on him. He's blew the save yesterday. So I think we call him right now. Like, hey, you remember how he sucked yesterday? We can take that suck off your hands.
Yeah, so Kirby Yates has been around for a long time. He is going to be a free agent. Like I said, he's a rental. He's only getting paid $4.5 million. That's not a lot. He has a 1.02 ERA. He was an all-star. He's been electric. I would love to have him. He'd come in and instantly be our closer. But I don't know. This is another one with the Rangers. They might not trade anybody, and they might just try to run it out and try.
So if we put Kirby Yates as a setup man, that would make it so if we were the Orioles of 2017 right now with 2017 Kirby Yates, 2017 Kimbrel, untouchable.
Untouchable. Yeah.
But I don't mind that. I mean, at this point in his career, I don't.
I mean, he's having a resurgence. It seems like for Kirby Yates, it's like every other year. He's like really bad, then really good. Which is why I wouldn't. This is only a rental, but I don't even know what a package would look like for him. But yet, it all depends.
That would be a guy you may hardly even know at many of the prospects going. Like it might be one.
I could see that being like a Kyle Stowers and the Delmarva Shorebirds shortstop or something like that. Yeah. Something like really low guys, but like still people obviously. And then I also have Tanner Scott.
I love that one.
I think he
just needs to throw strikes.
I don't think we get him. I would have him close to a 0 on mine purely because I believe is going to be more expensive than Kirby Yates, and I think Kirby Yates has been slightly better.
Yeah.
They've been around the same, but Kirby Yates has been better. And like I said, I think Tanner Scott's younger, so he has more of a name for himself.
I give him a 2.
A 2? Yeah. I would love for us to bring him in. Yeah. Yet again, he would be a nice setup man.
Yeah.
And then I have this next category. This is my scariest one because you don't necessarily love these names. It's elite with a caveat. They are really good, but they could drop off a cliff at any moment. Yeah.
We saw it happen before.
First one we saw happen last year. Jack Flaherty has been dominant this year. 3.13 ERA in 100 innings. He's been better than he was last season before we traded for him.
Yeah.
He's a rental, but all the reasons that happened last year, basically, he could be perfectly fine. And I heard it put well by another Orioles podcaster that if he got traded to say he got traded to the Yankees last year and did bad, we want him in a heartbeat. But because it happened with us, we're nervous.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want him personally. I think he could be fine. He had problems with some of the coaching, I think. I believe those coaches are gone. I'm not sure. But it's a scary one.
I agree.
And then, so what would you say?
I'll 0.
0? Okay. I'd say probably, for some reason, I'd say 3. I'm only saying this because I just have a feeling that Michael Elias is like, you know what? Second time, maybe that's where we bring it in.
Dude,
Second time's a charm.
Mm.
I feel like that's a realistic move. Next one's Eric Fetty.
Yeah.
He's been really, really good this year, to the tune of a 2.99 ERA, 4.4 WAR. Just been amazing. But let me take you back in time. He was with the Washington Nationals from 2017 to 2022. His most recent season with the Nationals, he pitched 127 innings with a 5.81 ERA. He was terrible. He went to the KBO.
Yep.
He won their Cy Young Award and came back and is doing great. Props to him. He's doing good.
Yeah.
But can it hold up?
Yeah.
All it takes is him to have a bad second half. And
do you have his stats for this year? What was his win loss and ERA?
He's 7-3 win loss, and his ERA was 2.99.
Okay.
He has been amazing this year.
I guess my only argument to that, okay, I know you haven't even said your number yet or not. All right, so I got another guy that was really good until he went overseas, or wasn't really good until he went overseas. He's 5-3, and he has a 2.82 ERA. Okay, but yeah,
Is he a starter? Or?
He's a starter. Yeah, yeah, that's Albert Suarez. We already have him.
Well, I will just say Albert Suarez is like the 1 in a million case because he hadn't pitched in like 8 years. He only went for 1 year. I will say.
I'm just saying it's like
no.
We're not just trying to like not.
I would
the Orioles don't just try to find things to try to find.
No, I would be fine with Eric Fetty. He's been elite, but there's more of a risk if you trade for him than Tariq Skubal or someone that he's going to fall.
I agree.
I put him at a 3.
I put him at a 0, and he will be traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
My pick's the Cardinals.
It'll be a team that doesn't have much and won't give up much and just wants a little.
Okay. And now my next category.
I don't know.
I feel like we spent a lot of time on those, so I don't want to if I spend 10 minutes on each name, we're going to be here for 4 hours.
Okay, we got.
So I have.
Just give me a list and we'll pick
That's what I'm doing. That's my plan.
Look at this, everybody. We're working together.
This is all the spot. I didn't expect that to take as long as us. I probably this is the most research I've ever done for an episode. I did too much, I think.
I told Elijah that I was sick and that I couldn't do much, and he jumped right in.
I was prepared to do this by myself. But so these are all players that can start a playoff game. They'd be your third starter behind Burns and Grayson. Basically, just think of this as they're better.
Can I like all of them?
They're better than Dean Kramer or Albert Suarez.
Yeah.
Which is no shot to either of those because I'd be fine if they had to start a game 3. But these are my first one's Zach Eflin. He is a free agent in 2026, so we would have him until next year. He's not been great. He has a 4.14 ERA, and he didn't do good last year in his postseason start. But I still believe he would get the start over the other two.
Okay.
He did good with the Phillies. Obviously, got a little known fact. Zach Eflin signed the largest free agent contract in Tampa Bay Rays history.
Wow.
$40 million deal.
You don't see them make a mistake very often. $40 million, that's funny.
Well, that's why it's the biggest. It wasn't much. I wouldn't say it's a mistake. He did really good last year. He's just, his underlying numbers are a little bit better.
But that would mean the Rays trade to us.
That's my thing. I have a lot of interdivision people, and I just don't know what the chances are trade. I give this a 2.
Yeah, a 0.
Yeah, because, okay. Now this next one, I kind of like. Yusei Kikuchi. He's a rental, so he's not going to take that much. He's got a 4.54 ERA this season, which sounds terrible, but I saw him pitch against the Orioles on the day we walked off.
Yeah.
He did amazing. Yeah. His FIP is 3.58, so his expected stats should be a lot better. I think he would start that third game. I put this as a 4.
All right, I say 1.
I think and this isn't because of him personally. I think this is the type of pitcher we go get though. rental,
Yeah.
good starting pitcher.
I agree. And this will be the time where we trade for him and we get him. He does fine. And in 3 years from now, Dylan Beavers hits a walk-off, and because that's who we traded for.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's the type of person I think.
But
it
I think
goes
this
with.
is that yet again what I said at the beginning. We're going to be heartbroken. You have to be okay within 3 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Our prospects being good for another team.
I agree.
What did Brandon Hyde say the other day about Kyle Stowers? He's going to be a good major leaguer whether with us or not.
Right.
My next name, Chris Bassett. Like him a little bit less than you say. He's been better this season, 3.71. He's more expensive though. He's a free agent through 2026. His contract, he's going to get paid a lot of money. I think that's where kind of stops. He's going to get traded probably. This just has like Dodgers written all over or something like that.
Nuts.
I put this as a 1.
A 1. Yes. 0.
0. Okay, Tyler Anderson. I'm going to say Tyler Anderson. This is
Angels.
He's on the Angels. I think out of all the names I said for before, I'm going to say this is a 5. Before I even talk about him, this just has Michael Elias written all over it. His expected stats are terrible, which I don't like. He's performing over what he's supposed to have, but 2.91 ERA, 4 WAR, 123 innings. He was an all-star.
Yeah.
I would be okay with him. The only I have he could fall off by the end of the season.
Wow.
That's my worry. What do you have?
I say a 3, and the reason I say a 3 is because we deal a lot with the Angels.
Yeah. That's true.
It just seems like they usually work well together.
Yeah. Okay, next name, Max Scherzer.
Yep.
I put this as a 0.
Yeah.
He's a rental.
Yeah.
What do
A
you say?
1, but Cody wants it to be a 5.
I would love Max Scherzer to put on an Orioles uniform, but he has a no trade clause, so he'd have to personally waive it, and I don't believe he's going to do that one.
He don't want to get crushed at least.
Yeah, I don't believe that I believe he's gonna stay. Every day that I move closer to the deadline, I think the Rangers are gonna trade away less.
Yeah.
Which sucks because there's so many people I want for their team. The next name, another Ranger, Nathan Eovaldi. So he could be a free agent after this season, but it all depends. He has a $20 million player option for 2025 if he pitches, I think it's 57 more innings this year, which is basically if he makes every start for the rest of the year, he's going to do it. So $20 million, if he's good, that's nothing for a decent starting pitcher. I just don't know if he waives the player option or not. Because if he does good for the rest of the season, he's going to go try and make more money. So I think you look at this like a rental, and it could be a thing where they do a player to be named later, and in 6 months, if he waives it, there's a nobody. It's $1 like Dallas Keuchel was traded for, or maybe it's someone. But I put this at probably a 3.
Yeah, I say a 4, and the reason I say a 4 is I say a 4, and then if they do trade, if the Rangers do end up selling, he will be an AL East. He will be and you know why? Because he showed that he can dominate in our division already. Yeah. I mean, he's a perfect guy to try to get just because he knows our division better than some of our own pitchers because he's pitched our division way longer.
Red Sox reunion.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, I think he pitches in our division by the end of the season as long as the Rangers sell. But I'm going to say a 4, hoping that he'd be a great 4. For man.
His biggest thing to me is the playoff experience.
Yeah.
Another name is Andrew Heaney. Now this one has a caveat with it in itself. I have him. He could start a playoff game, but this is one he pitches 3, maybe 4 innings, and Suarez comes back in to take it to the 7th.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a short start because I don't think you trust him to go through the lineup more than twice. I think he'd be a great guy to have. He's a rental, and I don't know. He has playoff experience again. He didn't do great last year. I put this at 4.
Oh, I'm at like 1, bud.
I know this isn't. You got to remember, this isn't what I personally believe. I'm doing. Orioles are going to do. Okay. That's I think the type of player the Orioles are going to trade for. Now I have another one is good relievers, but that would definitely help the bullpen, and they would come in and instantly make a difference. My first one's Colin Poche.
Okay.
Do you know who Colin Poche is?
No.
He's on the Rays. He's a reliever. So he's a free agent in 2026, so we'll get him for another year. And he has a 3.12 ERA and 26 innings pitched. Got a 1 whip. He's good.
Okay.
Really good. He's probably going to be traded this year if the Rays trade off some of their pieces. Or they might keep him for another year. Who knows with the Rays? Who knows? He'd be great to have. I don't think we get him, though, because the Rays. No. I put this at like a 1.
1. Yep.
Now, this next name, I would love to have Chad Green.
Okay.
Chad Green, who has pitched for the Yankees and the Blue Jays now, has a 1.88 ERA and 0.9 innings in 28 and 2/3 innings pitched. No one, I think he's going to be kind of an under the radar guy. I saw that the Yankees were looking into a reunion with him, and if we get into a bidding war with the Yankees, I don't want that because that's going to either make us pay too much or, I don't know. But I would like him. I would like him more than Poche. I think I'd put this at like a 3. He's a free agent in 2026 and would give us good innings out of the bullpen. He's a high leverage but middle, like he's the 7th inning guy. It's Chad Green to Cano to Kimbrel.
Yeah. I say 1 only because it's interdivision.
That's true. I think the Blue Jays are going to be more willing to trade interdivision than the Rays. Carlos Estevez. He is the closer currently for the Angels. 2.45 ERA, 1.5 WAR, 33 innings pitched, 19 saves. He comes in as our setup man.
I love it.
And could you see a Carlos Estevez, Tyler Anderson package? I would love him. I think this is, if we're going for a reliever, I would hope it's someone at this level.
Yeah.
I'd put it at like a 4.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
too.
he's going to be really good. Michael Kopech. Before I go into any stats off the cuff, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Michael Kopech, I wish we had him a few years ago when he was a good starting pitcher. Yeah, I don't trust him at all. You want my ranking? Is that
Yeah.
what you want? I 1.
Okay, you're putting a 1. I'll put it at a 3. The problem with him is he's not a guy that can come in and close games for us now. He's a guy that could easily, though, go out and win the Cy Young next year as a starter. That's what I'm looking at. He's a free agent 2026, so we'd have him for 2 years. He has amazing potential and has shown it. But I think if the Orioles coaches can get on him, I think he'd be better. I don't trust any White Sox coaches to be good at their job, basically.
Right.
So I believe that maybe Drew French gets a hold of him and he could do better.
Right.
Dylan Floro.
I'll say a 2.
Dylan Floro, I think this is another 4. I think he's a rental. So if we wanted to go the rental route, he's a great reliever. Another guy from the Marlins who I think would be just a good guy to have in the back end of our bullpen. David Robertson.
I like David Robinson, actually. I'm going to say a 1.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2. I think it's going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
I think, because if you're going to play for an expensive reliever, you want better than him. But I think he's so well known around the MLB that he's, for what he is, he's not going to be worth what's available. He's got 3.16 ERA.
Yeah.
Now this next guy is really intriguing to me. Nick Martinez. Ugh.
Yeah.
So he's on the Reds. He's a reliever. He has done great this year. He's a free agent in 2026, and he actually has been linked to the Orioles. Him and Frankie Montas, who I'll talk about in a second. He's been just saying that the Orioles are interested, I guess. He'd be a really great piece to add. Put him in the back, and I love this. I think it's a 4. Saying that we've been linked to him. No other teams have been named and talks to them, and the Reds have come out and said they are selling.
Yeah, I say a 4 also, and the reason I say a 4 is I think the Reds could really be interested in our bats.
Oh, 100%.
They're trying, they sign, if they can make a trade and somehow get Stowers or somebody like that, I mean, that fits their whole age bracket, right? Like exactly. We are. They're in the same spot we are. They've
underperformed this year is what it comes down to. He also could be stretched out to be a starter at some point. Another guy I have is Yimi Garcia. He's on the Blue Jays. I don't think we can meet the price for him because he's going to be probably more expensive than he should be. He's good, though. He's a rental.
1.
2. 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Kyle Finnegan.
Yeah.
So he's the closer for the Nationals. Yeah. Has a 2.32 ERA. So far, I think if anybody gets traded for any reliever, I want him. He's controllable through next year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he closes games out or if he's a setup man, but I want him. His stuff's good. He's probably my favorite free tradable reliever.
Yeah, I say 3.
That's not like Mason Miller or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. Now I have
3.5.
3. I think I'm 5. Yeah. People comfortable making starts in the regular season. They're gonna help the Orioles get regular season wins and could be moved to the bullpen, or maybe not. I don't know. Some of these names I just gonna go through quickly. Michael Lorenzen, I'm a 0. I don't want him.
I agree.
But this is somebody that we rumored last year. Maybe we would. Jameson Taillon. He's a 2027 free agent, so we'd have him for a lot. His contract is expensive, but he's been doing good this year. Relatively good. He's got a 3.1 ERA. I mean, he's got 93 innings, so not quite a lot of innings, But I think for his price, if he's a decent starter, you're not going to find somebody at that cheap. Zach Littell just got lit up by the Yankees. I don't want nothing to do with him.
Right.
If we're going to trade, if the Rays are going to trade to us, this is not who I want, but he's a 2026 free agent. Just some of these names I'm just giving you out there, so when you hear rumors or if we do trade for them, you at least know something about them.
Right.
Cal Quantrill. He is my only one that I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. He's on the Rockies. He's going to be a free agent in 2026, and the Rockies might sell. They might not. You kind of never know. His numbers are high. I would say that. But the one thing, he's in Coors Field. He's got a 4.15 ERA, and that's probably at least one run lower in any other stadium. You just got to think about that. Coors Field makes pitchers be terrible.
Yeah.
But also, last time we traded, we got a pitcher from the Rockies. He didn't.
No.
I didn't like a ball.
About us.
But then here's another one that I'm very interested in and would be a very Orioles move to trade for him while he's low. It's Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah.
So he's actually injured. He's on the 60-day IL. He's not coming back. I think the date's somewhere in August. He might not come back at all this season. You never know. But he's not a free agent until 2027. And the Orioles have been rumored to him for a while, but the season's not panned out like he wanted it to. He's just in 66 innings. He's got a 5 ERA. He's not been good. This is someone I could see us getting, maybe moving to the bullpen when we get him, and come back next year as a starter.
Yeah.
And because you're going to trade for him at his all-time low, basically. Right?
Yeah.
This is the lowest he's been in value.
Yeah.
And then I feel mean for this, but I have the better than Keegan Aiken pitchers. It's two relievers. Hunter Strickland is a rental reliever, and he's okay. I don't want him. You say he's crazy.
Yeah, both of your people here are like mentally crazy.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Okay.
You're confused with the wrong person again.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, it's not Mike Cleven.
No. Garrett Clevenger. Oh, you're right. But Hunter Strickland's crazy.
Yeah, Hunter Strickland is crazy. I don't want him.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry, you're right. I like Garrett Clevenger though.
yeah, Garrett Clevenger. You don't know who he is.
Slaughter.
He confused him earlier, and he keeps confusing him from Mike Clevenger, the White Sox pitcher. That's not who this is.
Yes.
He has a
I'm good.
3.38 ERA on the season and 40 innings. He's also on the Rays though. He's a free agent 2028. He's been rumored to be moved. I don't know why. He's someone that you would think you'd want to keep control with. I'd love to see him get traded because he's someone that would come and help our bullpen.
Yeah.
I don't want Hunter Strickland though.
Yeah.
Frankie Montas is I have him in the definitely a major leaguer category. Yeah. He is a major league pitcher. He's not good. 4.85 ERA and 89 innings. He's 4-8 on the season. He's bounced around. Do you know what year he made his debut?
2016.
2015.
Oh,
he actually didn't play a single game in 2016.
I literally threw a number 9.
He had been I feel like ever since 2019, he was just rumored to be getting traded at every single deadline.
Yeah.
He just
They should have traded him.
He's never lived up to expectation. I feel like some seasons, and the Orioles, they've been rumored to him with the Reds, and he has a 2025 mutual option, which it'd be amazing if he got it picked up for him.
Yeah.
I don't believe he would. I don't want him.
Yeah.
I don't want him. He's not, because he's not going to be able to start a game for us. I don't think he could go in our bullpen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then I have my last guys.
Worse than Keegan.
My worse than Keegan Aiken.
That's funny.
I have this put as a very Mike Elias move. They don't really push the needle, and they might though. They might. One of these guys is probably gonna have a good second half.
Okay.
But the chances of us knowing. First one's John Brebbia.
Okay.
Not been good on the White Sox. He's someone I could see if a Crochet or a Fetty's traded, he's thrown in as an extra piece. He's been good in the past. He has potential. His underlying stats and expected stats are good. I don't want him though. TJ McFarland.
He's getting traded to us.
You think he's?
That's what's gonna happen.
It definitely feels like he's our big splash move.
Yeah, I did for real. And man, Orioles fans, you're gonna be mad, because Orioles off-season moves. We trade, a nobody for TJ McFarland, and I like TJ McFarland as a person.
Yeah.
But we're kind of hoping for more.
A little bit more.
But yeah, that looks like, to me, you saw Orioles moves.
You know what?
That is the most Orioles.
Yeah, if TJ McFarland, he's one of the ones that gets claimed on waivers in early September.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get cash considerations or something.
Okay.
Jorge Lopez, which I have on here just because I think it's a fun guy. I love the image in my head of Jorge Lopez, we trading for him from the Cubs, and him coming over here and just being randomly dominant again for 2 months.
Yeah.
The chances that are low. He's not, he's barely pitched for the Cubs. He's had an interesting season. For those of you kept up, had the whole thing with the Mets. We don't need to get into it, but
To his glove in the stands.
it's been a long season, I think, for him. And maybe he needs the comfortability of the Orioles where he was for so long.
Yeah.
Another one, which a lot of people seem to like, I don't really love it, is Mark Leiter Jr.
Yeah, he looks like he's like a 38-year-old dad.
Yeah.
He has the blonde mustache.
He sure does. He's 33. He lives in Fort Lauderdale.
Dude, he's an old man.
Oh, he's from Toms River, New Jersey. I don't want to hate on New Jersey, but I hate New Jersey.
Why? Tom's River, man. He probably went to the World Series.
I guarantee they do. Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. New Jersey's the gross version of Delaware, which is where we're from. Just an amazing state it is. But he's a free agent 2027, so long time that we'd have him. He has a 4.5 ERA and a negative 0.4 WAR.
So you're actually better than not using him.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would say is FIP, which for those of you who don't know, that's kind of taking away all of the unreliable stuff about pitching, which is, I feel like, cheating. Yeah. But it's a 2.21. He actually has the greatest difference in ERA to FIP in major leagues, which so that you could take that as he's going to come out here and shove.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you could take it as he's going to kind of suck.
Right.
And then I also have Jose Leclerc.
I love Jose.
He's a rental. He's struggled this year. He could be a guy that we get over here and give it a couple weeks and he's dominant again.
He's Fuji.
Yes. That's actually a great comparison because he throws hard.
Yeah.
And
has no idea where it's going.
Yeah. He could be good. He could be bad.
Yeah.
That's all the names I have for you. I know that was a lot. It was a lot to talk about. But I have these things. A lot of people we've already talked about. I have my deadline picks of what I think could happen. And I'm going to start with my dream because I'm just going to say this. I don't think this is going to happen.
This is your dream.
Well, not true. Okay. So my dream is to get these guys. I'm not going to act like I'm smart enough to put together an accurate package. I think I did okay for some of these. The A's fans aren't going to like me. But so this is my dream. So the first one, we're getting Mason Miller. Throw in JP Sears, who's a controllable starting pitcher. That's kind of been up and down. And they get Kobe Mayo.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Which I think that's fair. I think a reliever.
You know who's mad about that trade?
No.
Kimbrel.
That's true. Because Kimbrel's not going to be. Kimbrel has a chance to not be a closer, but I don't care. I want to win.
Yeah, right.
But Kobe Mayo. I think that's fair because you don't want to give Kobe Mayo for Mason Miller upright because Mason Miller as a reliever, it's kind of you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. And then throw in another player. Now this other one. This one is where Orioles fans might get mad at me.
Yeah.
So I'm getting
I don't like this.
Tariq Skubal and Jason Foley, who you might have heard. I said that MLB Network came out. Apparently, they had access to this document because yesterday, before their whole segment, I had Tariq Skubal for Jason Foley for, they're not the same players, but I have it for Jackson Holiday, Keegan Aiken, and Cade Povich.
Yeah. No,
So what do you not like? You don't like us giving up Jackson?
Number one is you're trying to get rid of Keegan Aiken just because you hate him.
No. Me getting rid of Keegan Aiken is so they have a bullpen piece to replace Jason Foley.
Okay.
That's me being fair. Because there's two parts to this trade. I know it seems like a lot maybe because of Holiday and two other players, but you have to break it down. Tariq Skubal, Cy Young level pitcher with control. Jack and Holiday. I think those two on their own are kind of comparable to trade for each other, but you feel like you want a little bit more. So then I have the Jason Foley part, where if we were to trade for Jason Foley, he's a controllable reliever that's really good. You would probably see a Cade Povich, Keegan Aiken, and maybe more go. So I think that's why they balance each other out. MLB Network had, instead of Keegan Aiken, Cade Povich, Heston Kjerstad. I think that's too much to give up.
Okay.
And I think a Tariq Skubal trade for the Tigers probably starts and ends with Jackson Holiday.
Okay.
I don't think you see them unless you're willing to do Mayo, Basayo, Norby, and more.
Okay.
I say this. These two trades happening are probably 0% chance. But, if something happens, I said it here first, and I was always right. And now my realistic. I want Yusei Kikuchi, and this is where Orioles fans are. I trade Connor Norby, Seth Johnson, and Hudson Haskins. You say, wow, for a rental, Elisha? Hunter Harvey was traded for a top 100 prospect and the 41st overall pick in this year's draft.
Yeah.
And he was a rental reliever. You got to think prices are high this year, and Connor Norby does not have a place on this team. And the longer you have him here, since he made his debut, his clock is ticking and ticking and ticking.
Yeah.
He's only going to get lower in value. So, and may I remind you, let's just take it back to last year. Before the deadline happened, Aroldis Chapman got traded to the Rangers for Cole Reagans. Cole Reagans is amazing right now on the Royals, but what did the Royals not do that the Rangers did? The Rangers won the World Series.
Yeah, right.
I'm okay Connor Norby going and being a stud for the Blue Jays. If we win a World Series with Yusei Kikuchi, I think there's nobody that there's. It's same with like the Tariq Skubal thing. If we give up Jackson Holiday and Tariq Skubal helps us win a World Series, that's the end goal.
Yeah.
And I know he might help us in the future, but so could Tariq Skubal.
Right.
And then Seth Johnson is another pitching prospect, and Hudson Askin is a fringe prospect. So it's one of those things, just trying to find someone to throw in. Now, this other one, I kind of had to like convince myself to get this guy because this seems like an Orioles thing. Jameson Taillon. He's controllable. He's got plenty of years. He is expensive. But I have Justin Armbruster and Jackson Baumeister, two of our top 30 pitching prospects. Then Dylan Beavers and Judd Fabian.
Yeah.
Which are the thing that I just keep having to remind myself is we have Heston Kjerstad. He's in that outfield until basically he's a free agent.
Yeah.
And then you have people like Santander might get re-signed. You have Enrique Bradfield. And I can almost guarantee you right now, Dylan Beavers or Judd Fabian's not going to make outfield starts over someone like a Vance Honeycutt.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of outfield depth. You have to draw from it and trade it at some point.
Yeah.
I don't really love this trade even. I'm saying it's realistic. I just don't love it. And then I have this one. This I told you is my favorite. Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals. I think you give up Keegan Aikens here again. You give up Keegan Aiken and Kyle Stowers.
Okay.
And Matt Horvath and Billy Cook, who are both. Matt Horvath he's been one of our only prospects that's not lived up to what he's supposed to be in the minor leagues. Maybe the Nationals could tap into him. Billy Cook's been good. Just there's no place for him on our team. Yeah. And same with Kyle Stowers. And then Keegan Aiken, just bye-bye Keegan, please.
Yeah.
But I would love that trade. Yeah. That's my favorite one of all the trades. Yeah. And I think that's about, and yet again, you think we're paying too much. Wait and see what the Dodgers give up for Crochet or something like that. Yeah. Like the trade, this is why I'm afraid we're not going to make any moves because of how high it is. But the problem is we're at the point where some of our prospects, Connor Norby is never going to be as valuable as he is today. Yeah. Tomorrow, he's less valuable than he is today. Yeah. Every day that goes by, he's going to be less valuable. And we have to capitalize at some point. Yeah.
All right. And I think my realistic / dream trade, I like both of them, is I say we trade to who do I want to say? Dylan Tate is getting traded.
Okay.
Pick another minor league pitcher.
Just any.
It says whoever. Not a big name.
So not like a Povich or a McDermott. No. Okay. So more of like a Armbruster, Baumeister. Still a prospect, but not like.
This is gonna happen. This has to happen tomorrow. Okay, everybody. We're gonna trade him to the Dodgers.
Okay.
And we're gonna get a pitcher that's 8-2 right now.
Is he a starter?
He's a starter.
Are you getting like Gavin Stone or something like that? No.
They just designated this guy for assignment.
Oh shoot, we're getting
James Paxton.
Okay. So do you know why
we're trading for him though?
So to get ahead of
to get ahead.
So this is what I say here. He's on waivers. He's not going to cost that much. That's my
okay. Just yeah.
So that's why I think
I'm thinking. I bet 17 teams have called them.
You know what you could do though? Just push over Kyle Stowers or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, they must know something.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a weird.
My thing that always scares me though is if the Dodgers, who seem like they can always have good pitching, if they give up on a pitcher.
Yeah. Well, there is some reasons I've heard with like numbers down, and there's stats that kind of show luck. Yeah. But I mean,
that definitely is a Michael Elias. Like that's an Orioles.
Yeah,
that's an Orioles move.
Just so we'll see how it goes. I think you did a great job. I mean, I really like I would do the Mason Miller for Kobe Mayo and JP Sears and heartbeat.
I think that might be the most fair trade that I came up with. The problem is I don't think Kobe Mayo gets traded. I'm afraid we don't make any moves.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, if we make moves, you have to be okay.
Give me before we head off, guys. Give me your 3 people you don't want that you will feel like it was a win that we didn't trade them.
If we didn't trade them,
yeah. What if this trade line ends and you feel how much better? Give me 3 guys that you don't want traded, and like at the end of the trade deadline, you'll go, thank goodness.
So is that prospects or major leaguers?
Anybody.
Okay, so I think I'll start with Santander.
Okay.
I don't want him to get traded. Okay. I don't know if it could be something that he's on. Chase McDermott.
Okay.
I really don't want him to get traded. and Heston Kjerstad.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think anybody on the major league team is probably going to get traded, but if it was, it's probably Kjerstad. And I like McDermott over Povich, which I feel like it's kind of a toss between those two. I think McDermott has more potential to be impactful to the Orioles, whether as a reliever or a starter.
Yeah.
I see McDermott, if we don't trade for a reliever, he's a reliever in September.
Yeah. All right. Mine is Jackson Holiday and Heston Kjerstad.
Just the two.
Those are my two that I really don't want gone.
No, I don't want Kjerstad gone.
To me, Kobe Mayo is like a Band-Aid.
What? So,
where I'm just like, would you just rip it off?
Because we were at Busch Gardens on Sunday, and while we were walking around with your kids, we were talking about this, and this is my thing. You look at the Orioles infield right now. You have Jordan Westberg, and you have Gunnar Henderson.
Yep.
They have to start, okay? And then you say you have Jackson Holiday and Kobe Mayo. Kobe Mayo
traded.
What?
Kobe Mayo's traded.
His defense is terrible. He can't really play third base. He can't play first base either.
Okay.
And I mean, if you're picking between the two, you got to pick Holiday, obviously. And I don't think after this season, at the beginning of this season, if you would ask me, Mayo's even a couple weeks ago probably, Mayo's starting at third base in the future, and what's his name? God, Westberg. He's gonna float around and be a util guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have him. You have to have him starting every game. I mean, he got into the All-Star game. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. I
don't think you unless you trade him away. I think you have to trade Mayo, because yet again, like Norby, every day it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
The more he sits in AAA, the worse he's.
You're right. Well, I guess we'll see. You know, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it waits until next week to see.
I'm really scared
what actually
happens.
Yeah, and that might be the worst part, right? But yeah, until next time, I'm excited for our next episode, because that's gonna be on pretty much the trade deadline day, right?
Yeah,
so
I think we're doing it right after the
right
time
after,
ends.
Yeah, so we're gonna come on and get our tissues and talk about the people we've lost.
Oh yeah,
he was good. He was a good batter, you know. But anyway, we can't thank you enough for joining us here on our trade deadline special. Hopefully Elijah gets proved like he's a genius, right? And so he shows that.
I would love for one of the trades.
Not one person on his whole list was even traded.
Oh yeah, I did forget to tell everybody this. I almost 0% probably we get any of these guys. I'm sure there's like 3 relievers that I didn't name. That's who we get.
Yeah.
That I understand. Me saying that we're gonna get Mason Miller, he's going to the Yankees.
Yeah,
stupid.
That would suck. So, but anyway, we can't wait to see you next week. Thank you for joining us on another episode here on the Utah Street Banner. Please remember, follow, subscribe. We're on Facebook, X, Twitter. Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. So definitely reach out if you have any ideas on who you think is going to be traded, who should be traded, or anything that you'd like us to talk about. Just reach out to us, and we'd be.
Or even if a trade happens, send us your reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, until next time, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.
See ya.